Hello, my name is Sharita, and I am going to speak to you today on credit card frauds. I know you're saying, what does she know about credit card fraud? Well, I actually work for a bank, and I do work in the credit card fraud department. So here we go. Before we get started, I want to share a few statistics with you. Just to let you know that these statistics, I did get them from the Nielsen report. They are the Nielsen report again for 2016. Just to let you know that the losses for credit card topped $24.71 billion, which was a 12% increase over 2015. 47% of the world credit card fraud happens right here in the US. 56% happens in Mexico. 49% happens in Brazil. And when you think about it, 47% is staggering. That's a staggering amount. So, unfortunately, in your lifetime, if you have a credit card, if you have multiple credit cards, it may have not happened to you yet, but it will. It will. Keep in mind that credit card fraud can happen anytime, anywhere. It does not matter. So, to go over the first reason or the first thing that customers say, or not customers, I'm going to say consumers. The first thing that consumers say when they call, they ask the first question is, how did this happen? How did this happen to me? How? I'm going to use an example of me going to college. Me going to college for the first time. I did graduate from the university, Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio. Go Bucks. And when I first got to college, it was difficult. I was a freshman. I came from a small town in Sandusky, Ohio. I really didn't know a lot. I didn't know how the college experience was going to be. I never lived on my own. And so it was really a daunting experience. On top of that, trying to choose a major for graduation, because my whole goal was to graduate from college. So when I got there was a plethora of information that I had to intake. There was a plethora of majors, of minors that I had to choose from. Very many different paths to get to the ultimate goal of graduation. So I had to decide, well, do I want to take the easy route? And a lot of times the easy route is where you really don't make a lot of money. Or do I want to take the hard route? And the hard route is mathematics, science, biology, chemistry. Do you want to do that for the next 4 or 5 years? And then afterwards, you probably will make a lot of money. So that was a decision that I had to make. Keep in mind, when you look at credit card fraud, it's the same thing. There are a lot of, when you're asking the question, why did this happen to me, or how did this happen to me? There are a lot of different ways in which credit card fraudsters can gain access to your information. Their ultimate goal is to steal your money. So they have a number of ways in which they can make that happen. So what I'm going to do is I am going to spend the next 15 or 20 minutes talking about some of those ways. I'm not going to talk about all of them. I will save some information for my next video. Please like hit like if you enjoy this video, if you would like to see more. So the first way that the first thing I want to actually speak about is how they are getting your information. Okay. A lot of times, what we do is when we go out to restaurants, and when I actually started doing the research on this, I looked at a number of articles online. I really didn't find a lot of information at the library, but a number of articles online stated this, that restaurants are the number one place where fraudsters gain access to consumers' information. And it was just a pattern. After article after article after article, even the book that I read stated the same thing. Restaurants are the number one way that fraudsters gain access to your information. So, you're going out to a restaurant, you're eating, you're having a good time. And, believe me, I understand, because we live in a society now where, people are always on the go. We have kids. We don't oftentimes have a lot of time to cook. So we are eating out more a lot. And we're also ordering in. They do have they have Uber drives, and they have the other one. I forget exactly what it's called, but where they will actually pick food up from restaurants for you. I was basically ordering from Cheesecake Factory almost on a nightly basis, and I had to quit it because I gained some weight. So it is easier and easier just to enter your credit card or your debit card information and just push a button. So fraudsters bank on that, the easiness. I do love the age that we live in. It's much easier than it was when I was growing up. You can go online, you can find things that, if you don't have any knowledge of it, you can find it, within a matter of seconds. Everyone has a cell phone. That wants a cell phone. A lot of times they're smartphones or they're Apple phones. You can use them as computers. It's so much easier, especially as far as your life is concerned. It makes it so much easier. And unfortunately, it makes it so much easier for fraudsters to steal from you as well. So just like we go on the internet to look for information, and I know I'm getting off topic, but I will get back to, my first bullet point. But just like we go on the internet and look for information, fraudsters do the same thing. They do the same thing. So you have to keep in mind, and I just want to say this, that it's not your fault. And I will get back to how it happened. But I just want to say that it's not your fault that simply because you went out to a restaurant, simply because you went to the store, and this is Christmas season, so people are shopping more and more, and you just, wanted to pick up some gifts for your family, gifts for your kids, your grandkids. It's not your fault that the next day you find, you look at your account, or, the next few days, you get a notification that there is a fraud alert on your account. That's not your fault. You should be able to live your life, and to live your life not having to worry about someone stealing your information, especially when you're going out having a good time. But unfortunately, this is what people do. This is what fraudsters do. And they are very, very good at it. So it is not your fault. It's not your fault. Okay, so I wanted to say that. Now, getting back to how it happens. Again, restaurants are, like I said, I read article after article after article. It stated that restaurants are the number one place where fraud actually occurs. Think about that. The number one place. So that means that there has to be a level of intent. Fraudsters have to make it their business to actually get hired by a restaurant so that they can steal your information. So when you and when you think about it, when I go to a restaurant, I'm there with my family, I'm there with my friends, I'm having drinks, I'm eating, having fun. I'm not really thinking about somebody is going to steal my information. That's the last thing on my mind. Especially the waitress or the waiter that, I don't have like a lasting relationship with them, but I'm talking to him. I'm giving him my order. I'm trying to joke with him, laugh with him. He's trying to joke with me, not thinking that this could possibly be someone that is trying to steal my information. But it does happen. It does happen. And it does happen a lot. So what they do is that they go in the back. We don't see them. We have no idea what they're doing. Sometimes restaurants are included in on the scheme. They will. There was one story I heard where a restaurant had one terminal for where they would steal from you, and then another terminal where they would check you out. So the restaurant was in on the thievery. They have machines where they're like the little squares, the little squares, they call them SQ, the square SQ, where they can actually put it on top of your cell phone. And a lot of people that are vendors use this. If they're selling things, they use those little SQ squares where they can just swipe your card and have your information. Well, that's the same thing with a fraudster. They can it's easy for them to take it out of their pocket, get your card, swipe your card, and take your information and go. Also, fast food restaurants. A lot of times, and I'm guilty of this, I don't want to get out the car. I go through the drive-thru. In that window, you're seeing the person, but you're not really seeing what they're doing. I saw on Facebook where there was this young lady that was actually stealing from customers. She had her little machine next to the register. She would swipe that first, and then she would run the transaction through the register, give the customer their credit card or their debit card and their receipt back. And that's how she was gaining access to consumers' information. So just be aware that it does happen, and that is how it happens. A second way that it happens, a lot of people call in and they say, well, I received this phone call. And they said there was a Chase employee, but I'm not sure. They had an accent. I didn't want to give them my information. Okay. A lot of consumers are hip to that scam. And there are a lot of scams out there where they will call you. They will say, I'm from this company. I need your social security number. I need your credit card number. I need your date of birth. And I need your mother's maiden name. So a lot of customers are hip to that. But there are some people that still give out their information. If it's a person that does not have an accent, and again, these fraudsters are con artists. They're very good at what they do. They can make you feel extremely comfortable. A person will call. They'll say, "Well, your credit card has a fraud alert. Give me your credit card number." They'll give that credit card number to that person. Okay, give me your date of birth. They'll give their date of birth to that person. Okay, then what is your mother's maiden name? They'll give all of that information to that person. And that person is a fraudster. Please do not do that, because you never know who is calling you. Okay, it could be legitimately where your credit card company, your bank is calling you. But if you don't know, hang up, turn your card over, and call that number on the back of the card so that you know for sure who you're speaking to. Do not give your information out over the phone and you are not sure that you're talking to a representative from either your bank or your credit card company. Okay? Number 3, the internet. Now, there are a lot of consumers, and I'm sorry I keep saying customers, but there are a lot of consumers that hate the internet. They have nothing to do with it. They don't do anything with the internet. They don't want to have anything to do with the internet. But there are customers or consumers that are on the internet. There is this thing, and it is a pop-up. There's a thing that comes up and it says it doesn't matter what website you go on. Your computer has a virus. If you close this, it will make the situation worse. It's even popped up on my cell phone. Where I'm looking up some type of website, and it's even popped up on my cell phone. Do not respond to that, because that is a scam. What they do is, if they're not a company that is going to charge you like $200 or $300, sometimes $400 or $500 to fix nothing, there's nothing wrong with your computer, they are a scam. They will, if you give them access to your computer, they will go into your computer, get all of your information, and then start taking your money or start charging either to your bank accounts or to your credit card. Never, ever do that. I don't care what it is. If you have a Dell computer, call a Dell technician. If you have an HP, call an HP technician. I have the Microsoft. If something happens to my computer, I'm going to call a technician from Microsoft to fix it. I'm not going to trust anything that pops up on my computer, because 9 times out of 10 or 10 times out of 10, they're going to fraud you. Another way, consumers will say to me, well, I keep my credit card locked up in my safe. I don't take it out for anything. I've never taken it out to purchase anything. I only use it when I want to do something online. It never goes outside of my house. Okay. So, and then what they also say, okay, something's going on. It has to be an inside job. There are employees that are stealing from me, and it is something that you need to check into. Okay? And that's a valid point. That's a valid point, because I would think the same way if I didn't know what I knew. There are fraudsters that employ people to sit up all day long and make up numbers. There are times, like if you've dealt with fraud, you may have seen something where there was a small transaction from some type of company that you never heard of. It could have been like $1.50. It could have been 50 cents. It could have been 89 cents. What we call that is they're feeling out your account. They're trying to see if there's money in it, either in your bank account or if your credit card is open. If you notice, the majority of credit cards, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, there are certain numbers that they begin with. I've noticed that a lot of the credit cards, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them start with the same 4 digits. My debit card has the same 8 digits, and I've lost my card 2 or 3 times. My card was stolen. I lost my card. It has the same first 8 digits of the other debit cards that I've had. So, Fraudsters know this. They know this. If they already have the first 8 digits, then all they have to do is make up 8 more. And if they sit around all day and that's all they do, they're going to come across the number that's right. If you look at the expiration date, a lot of the expiration dates now are 2020, 2022. Fraudsters know that again. All they have to do is figure out the month. That's it. And then what they'll do is they'll do online purchases. A lot of online merchants do not require that you put in the last 3 digits or the security code on the back of the card. Fraudsters know that as well. So that's another way that they can gain access to your information. Another way that they can gain access to your information is to basically take over your information. And we make that so easy for them. Why? Because we put all of our information on Facebook. We put where we graduated, we put our babies' pictures, we put their names, and we put their ages. We just put everything on Facebook. And then we'll turn around and we'll make either our online account password. I'm going to make it my baby's name and my baby's age. I'm going to make it my grandbaby's middle name and my grandbaby's age. I'm going to make that my mascot. My mascot in Sandusky, Ohio in high school was a blue streak bear. So that's going to be my password to get into my online banking account and my credit card account. You just giving them the information, the tool. Again, they sit up and they do this like a job. It's a job to them. It's their job to steal from you. So it's not like they're just, getting on the computer and they're just spending an hour or two trying to find out your information. No. They spend days, just like I go to my job, and I don't like working, over 8 hours. I don't like working over 8 hours a day. I don't like working overtime. They will work overtime. They will continue until they have access to your information because your money is their livelihood. So you have to stop giving them this information on these on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube. You have to stop giving them that information. Make it difficult for them at least to gain access to your account. Another way that they gain information, of course, or that they get your information, of course, is through skimming. What they do is they do put machines over top of. It could be, and gas stations are notorious for this. They're notorious for this. We don't like to go in, so we will get out, and especially if we're in a hurry. I'm always getting gas before I go to work, and I'm always running late. Deja didn't get up that morning. My daughter, I'm sorry, my niece didn't get up that morning. She's not a morning person, so she didn't want to get up for school. So I'm running late and I need gas. So it's easier to just get it at the pump than to go in. So a lot of times what the criminals are banking on is that you're not looking. And what we do, we blindly put our card in. It could have and what they do is they attach their machine to the outside of the pump where you actually put your card in. A lot of times you can tell that it's a skimming machine if you look. But we're in a hurry, we don't look. So that's another way that they can gain access to your information. I'm not going to go through, it's been 24 minutes. I'm not going to go through everything in today's session. I am going to post another class next week. Next week, I am going to go through a lot of things as far as what they do with the information, how they sell the information, and then things that you can do to keep yourself protected. And then I'm also going to give you some information that you can actually look up yourself. This is your credit card or your debit card or your banking account. This is your money. Take a proactive part in handling your money. Don't leave it to the company. Everyone looks at the company, the merchant. Okay, you should protect me. They should. They should protect you. But you should also protect yourself. So we all want this Christmas to be a very, very lovely holiday for us. I am going to end this session. I do want to say Merry Christmas. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please click like down at the bottom and share it with your friends. Bye.